Please, you guys, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button as you guys come in here. And back on with another live video. Hell will erupt in America. Now, the people are left with no ideas. That means America, your governments, politicians, world leaders have no idea what's going to take place. And all hell will eventually break out. A lot of people will lose their homes. Don't matter if you got insurance. If you are insured, a lot of people are going to just be losing homes. So you might say, what the brothers, what are they saying? What this brother talking about? Now, what I'm saying, you guys, all hell just finna break out. And I always say to you guys, with the worst yet to come. Now, y'all need to know that El Nigga is back. El Nigga, is going to bring, I say, another shift in the 2025 hurricane season, which the University of Colorado, there, had predicted there would be a high chance of major hurricanes will hit landfall. Now, they record 7, hurricanes. I think it will be 3 or 4 major hurricanes categories. 3 to, or 5. So with that being said, high chance this year of these hurricanes making landfall. So you guys want to probably prepare yourself, because all hell will eventually break out. A lot of people will lose their homes, as you see. Look at our jet stream. There's a high trough, and there will be for April. I'm looking at April that there's going to be a high chance, you guys. High chance of supercells. So that being said, you guys, not going to really look good. So, like I said, in these times, you guys, gotta pray. Like never before. Because you guys, with the worst still yet to come. Jesus gave a similar passage. Luke 25, and I believe in the 26th chapter, 25 and 26th chapter, he says, the seas and ocean will rise into a perplexity that man never seen before. So you have out in our Atlantic basin and Pacific basin, it's going to be an early jump start hurricane season right in the Pacific basin. So that being said, if we're not in hurricane season already, then I don't know, because you guys seeing strange weather patterns. Some people call it weather manipulation. So I tell you guys, man, this is something to pay attention to, because all hell will break out. People, more and more people will lose their homes, lose their property. Whether you got insurance or you don't have insurance, that don't matter. Because you all know that FEMA ain't gonna come in and do a damn thing about people losing homes. At some point, they're gonna work on declaring a martial law at some point. Some point you will probably see cyber attacks. So I want to say this because there's been an issue. I don't know if you guys know who Reno TV is. He have an issue with New Breed, because the brother Newbie was talking about these cyber attacks that will come into America, and I believe it. They showing us a glimpse now. You seen a cyber attack that happened in Las Vegas a few months ago. You know, I say this to you guys because America is one of the remaining, you guys, one of the remaining richest countries on this planet. You know, everybody want to make themselves here. Everybody want to be comfortable, make themselves here. But see, I want to say this. America is one of the most wicked lands you see today. And you see, God has not completely destroyed the land completely, because there are some righteous people. But at the midst of time, brothers, sisters, these people, they don't have no hope. You know, they don't even have a planned solution, because they don't know the time. So all hell will break out. And hell will erupt in America. So now I want to get started. Why are the nation angry? Who are the nation that are angry at the resurrection of the dead? The 18th verse of the 11th chapter of the Revelation in the Bible plainly teach us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead, and that God himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people, the black man. It is the slaveholders who have been the real cause of a mentally death of the people. The revelation relates to as being deprived of justice. God come to give them justice and to justify them as being equal to their slave masters as human beings. And as you know, from the 400 years of legal slavery and free slavery of the American so-called, They had never been recognized even as a human being. As one devil says, they are only 3/5 of a human being. It is true that the history of our treatment by the devil slave master practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. This is why I teach that this main right we should seek first are human rights. See, we should seek after our human rights. And if you don't know what that is, you have to make sure you seek after your rights here and fight for what's right. So we see when it comes to the American so-called Negro, flew in love with his slave master and the slave master's children because the unlike attracted them and their brothers in Africa. Therefore, the manifestations, an enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see, that which caused them to be mentally dead. In the parable of the donkey meeting with the angels, he saw that the burden he had been carrying on his back was false, Balaam. So, in the resurrection of a mentally dead people, the so-called Negro, they are rising up to a knowledge of self. This knowledge make them butte or refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. This have angered slave master as the donkey refused to anger Balaam. Balaam said about whooping and beating the donkey to force him as unusual to carry and respect him as his master. This force to compel the one slaves, the Black American, to remain with them even now in order to make them members of society, the only false recognition of the Black American. This lost and now found people of the Black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by the white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called have angered God as the cruelty the Egyptian inflicted upon the Israelites during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and of Pharaoh evil. In these modern times, the appearance of Jehovah and of Moses, the servants of Jehovah, to announce to Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. Pharaoh became angry and went to work and tried to obstruct and bring to nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. It brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his army was cast into the Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freeing of Israel by their God Jehovah. The angry nation refers to white America and Europeans who are also enslavers of the black man. Take, for instance, the part that England, Germany, France, and Italy have all played it in enslavements of black Africa and black people throughout Africa, Asia, here in America, North and South America. There is no such thing in the nature of white people as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for the blacks in the Western Hemisphere. Now their anger is running them mad, and they are attacking and killing each other. There is no such thing as peace amongst them, nor can you produce peace for others. The Holy Quran refers to this condition as the kind of hell. So we have Surah 81, verse 12. Never before have you witnessed the evil that is spreading far and wide. Every hour of the day in America and Europe, England and America being not the first, but the chief slave makers, the black people. They disliked the idea of having Allah exposed to their power over the Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slaves. This is the time of increasing knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light into this increase of divine knowledge than any black elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slave of America. Why America is angry at God for resurrecting the black slave to this knowledge of self and the slave master. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God Allah to try to oppose the truth of God preached by the messenger of God. Read the second song, The Great Commotion. See, with this great commotion, the great commotion of the government and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental excitement, and noisy confusion, there is no action that is being taken, nor can there be any divine action taken that will bring the people into a better condition of civil actions. The white American people have practiced evil and injustice to the man in the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will never be any divine action taken against them for such evil and injustice. But this is what is now affecting. It is the action of divine justice for the poor man, black slave. Allah God and the personal master of Allah Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, has the power, and he's using his power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. So you gotta understand, God is using his power today on the wicked. You see, the wicked can never perceive. See, whenever you see the seas and oceans, belongs to God. See, NASA and CERN, they can't produce the earth. They're not in control of weather manipulation. This is man idea. Man have always tendencies saying that they can change and manipulate the weather. No, they cannot. Because never no more will they subdue the earth. You see, when it comes to rain, wind, snow, earthquake, fire, all that is controlled by God. You see, Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. He is too powerful. He listens in on our thinking. He is capable of making us to think and to do that which he desired to be done. The great commotion today is witnessed by the nation of the earth, for it's America whom Allah guides after, for a mistreatment of the poor so-called Negro, lost found, original black members of their nation. America mistreat and kill her black slave for sport. But white America days is drawing to a close, and she will not have the freedom to mistreat the black slave much longer, as the mistreatment of Egyptian practice against Israel came to an end. So will this mistreatment of the black slave by white America come to an end. America has so blinded and made deaf dumb the black man in America, her black one slave, that she makes empty promises to the black slave and he will accept her false promise and forsake the true promises of Allah God and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who is here offering us heaven at once. See, the great commotion will continue in America until this commotion had destroyed the power of opposition. The title of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 101, 1 through 4, which states the disasters. What is the disaster? And what will make you know how terrible is the disasters? In the English language, according to the Westford Dictionary, the word disaster means a state of deep distress or misery caused by major misfortune or loss, or a great event marked by great loss and lasting distress and affliction. Such disaster is now prevailing in America. It is getting worse daily. The third verse of this chapter in the Holy Quran, Surah 101, verse 3, asks a question that will make you know how terrible is the disaster. The answer is given in the fourth verse. The day wherein man will be as scattered as moths. Now, this is going to be a day that the wicked can't deny. A day that you will see people will be like moths, it says, because the day wherein man will be as scattered as moths. You guys didn't see what happened over there in Missouri. There was a tornado that just touched down. A strong tornado, a powerful EF 3 or 4 that went through Missouri. And there was a man that came out saying that 5 people died during the tornado. It swept them from where they was at. It swept them and carried them. Then they said there was a woman that was swept from a tornado that ripped her legs, arms. But nevertheless, they said the woman had survived. But saying all this, we are in a time that hell will break out. Now, I want to talk about what's coming to America. Disaster is coming to America. And you're gonna have to, at some point, you're gonna have to pray like never before. Because death is now entering into America. And the worst is still yet to come. See, I want to say this. When Jesus gave us this prophecy, he says the seas and ocean will rise in the Luke 20 and 21 and 25, 26 into a perplexity that man never seen before. Because the seas and ocean are heaving up tidal waves to an unimaginable height that man that's never seen before. See, this is another player that's on the wicked. See, when the wicked always think that they can thwart God's plan and purpose until he comes, who right it is to rule. You see the Pacific oceans, the Atlantic oceans will rise into a Fahrenheit man and woman never seen before. So at tons, millions of tons of water is going to drop on America. So brothers and sisters, you have to know what's happening. So what's coming, you guys, is the cyber attacks, I believe, at some point. The corruption. See, this is why the people are in commotion, because they can't tell you that the worst is yet to come. And see, they can't tell you what's finna come and approach this earth. See, brothers and sisters, we do not have to ask anyone whether or not this warning we see of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears these great disasters that are now striking America. We see the great division, the great disagreement, disunity, murder of man. We see the great amount of raping, murdering girls and women. There's great robbery, thieves going on every hour of the day and night. There are great storms and adverse weather conditions. There are minor of earth tremors and hailstorms. There are signs and wonders of signs being displayed in the heavens and in the earth and on sea and land. There's unusual behavior of children today. There's unusual love or dislike of children by mothers and fathers, and the destruction of the process of childbirth. There is the great disaster, starvation, and great destruction of health and life by the use and administering of poison, drugs, which is practiced upon those who are free and those who are bound. What had been known as America is threatened today with total destruction. While America is destroying herself in her effort to destroy her black slave, the water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. America, scientists of war, conducts dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings by the millions and wipe out the lives of whole continents. These are the days fulfillment of prophecy, are not one but a many. But in all of these preparation of destruction of human life by the devil, Allah God too has planned to save his people. Allah God has claimed over the black slave as being his people. And the white slaveholder is angry because of the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim. Allah God comes to take the black slave away from enemy white slaveholders. and join the black slave into his own kind again. The enemy white slaveholder hates this, but Allah God has the power to force the enemy white slaveholders to submit to his will. It is the will of Allah God that the enemy white slaveholders let these black slaves go. Allah God promised concerning the white slaveholders and the black slave. The Bible, Isaiah 43, verse 6, I will say to the north, give up, to the south, keep not back, bring my son from afar, and my daughters from the end of the earth. America, since Allah God has now claimed the black slave, giving them the truth. Allah God has called the black slave who accept the truth by his name. The black slave who accept the truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nation of his kind belong to Allah God. The book must be fulfilled, wherein is prophesied that he will claim them to be his own elect. At such time as destruction of America, if Allah God has not chosen some of the people of America, the black slave, to be his people, there would not have been any flesh saved from America. The Bible, Mark 13:20, teach us, except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh will be saved. But for the elect's sake, who he has chosen, he has shortened the days. The black slave must know that this is the time of the judgment of both the white slaveholders and the black slave. The black slave must learn to know his place in the judgment. The place of the black slave is with Allah, God, and his own black people. The black slave had been deprived of knowledge of his God and his own black people. Allah God has come and brought the black slave the truth. The black slave refused to accept the truth. He will be destroyed for willingly and knowingly rejecting the truth when the truth have come in its millers. Disaster, disaster in the country of America. No secret can remain hidden, for the chastisement of Allah God will not let you hide it. As one writer prophesies in the Bible, Isaiah 18, verse 1, whom to the land, shadowed with rings. This prophecy is referring to America, which have a cloud of planes shadowing the skies over America almost daily. Can America exist? The coming of the white man to the western hemisphere was for the purpose of expansion away from his brethren in Europe. Europe was divinely given to the right race as a home when it was driven out of Arabia 6,000 years ago to abide there on that continent until the days of reckoning comes to them. These are the days of reckoning for the right race, as the religious scholars and scientists agree. But because of their nature, evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. They make war against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from accepting righteousness and in doing a righteousness. Today, the black man in America is depraved into the strong, powerful hands of his enemy, the children of the white slave masters. For 400 years, the slave master had mistreated the slave, and now the days of their redemption, they were doing everything possible to deceive them from accepting the starvation that Allah now offers to the black man of America. So strong is Allah's love for us that he now desires nothing but a total destruction of America. They hate me with a bloody hatred, and they tried to kill me for teaching the truth to my people. They do not want this black man of America to enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Look what they did to Reverend Martin King, a man who was trying to be their brother, a man who publicly taught that he did not want to draw the white man's blood. He says, if there be any blood to be spilled, let it be the black man's blood. His words came true poor man. He is without the knowledge of self, his God, and religion. And so fear of his 400-year-old enemy, that he could never get starvation from his people, from the enemy. America had been blessed ever since our father came across the Atlantic, out of the confines of Europe, until this day. Now, for evil done to a slave, God threatened her with total destruction. America and Germany are the most evil of the right race. These two governments have been blessed, but they have not shown any worthwhile respect to Allah for his blessings. Allah, God calls people out, all nations of the earth, to come to America. They came seeking in heaven and earth, but those came was evil too. As the Revelation language teach us, Revelation 18, verse 2, he cried mightily with his strong voice, saying, Babylon, America, the great is falling, and it's become the habitation of devils, hold every foul spirit, and encage every unclean and hateful bird. This is the judgment that have come to you, America. There is no people nor country on the earth who will feel this prophecy better than America and our people. She has become a house filled with evil practices, and with every member of the nation taking part. Yet she has been blessed with a great harvest of food, which is enough to feed the nation of the earth, and with her great advancements into the heights of her mechanical knowledge, and with her great wealth and silver and gold that enable her once upon a time to command the value of silver and gold of the world. But as it is written, all of this growing up of wealth and power, the act of justice was led at the root of this great tree of prosperity and authority of the nation of the earth, to be used by the Holy One to put a stop to the evil practice and injustice to the righteous. America has prospered from the labor of her black slave. She pays the black man high wages and salaries, and they take them back from him to the high cost of living. This high cost of living, or trying to live according to the way this white man lived, keeps this black man down. And when he has inquired, education of the white man is unable to compete with the white man, he becomes dissatisfied to the degree of creating the trouble to find a way to sell prosperity against the will of the white man, which is to keep this black man in the condition of poverty and disregard as equal human beings. Yet, while the white man teaches that all human beings are created accordingly, at the same time, he robs this black man of a chance to be the equal of other human beings. Now, can America exist with all of her wicked doing against the black man in America in a state of inequality with other human beings? The continued existence of America in a way of governments and power over people other than her own depends on the way she will continue to treat her one slave, the black people of America, due to the prophecy of the Bible from Moses to Jesus and Muhammad. The prophetic saying of these prophets teach us that a coming showdown between Allah, God, and the slaveholders of his people, black America, must come to pass. The time has arrived of this prophecy of defender coming to defend the prey, so-called Negro, who is held in bondage by the white slaveholders, who have and are still mistreating the prey to the extent that the world is in sympathy to pray for justice. Now it is prophesied that a just ruler will come, and he has come to set up a rule or kingdom under the laws of justice for a people who have lived under the law of injustice by unjust rulers. This must be fulfilled if the next government for the people universally is going to be under such a glorious rule of freedom, justice, and equality. It is natural that the old ruler will oppose a new ruler coming to remove him and his authority to rule the people. He will fight to keep his place and authorities over the people. This is why Allah threatened his opponent with the final declaration of war that will end the opponent's opposition to his laws of righteousness. I have been writing for many years of the coming doom of the world of Christianity, namely America, who is the root and cause of this present judgment of America. The judgment of America is due to the way that she has treated so-called the black people of America for 400 years. The very hour in which I'm writing, America is still mistreating her one slave with the worst kind of treatment ever according to human beings. America practiced the way of her fathers. Treatment of American so-called what she called a law of freedom. But this freedom is only words, not in practice. The slave master children, blood, hearts, and way of thinking towards the one slave is the same as their fathers. They find it so free to beat and kill the one slave, so-called Negro, at will, that they will continue this practice of mistreating and murdering the slave day and night, because there is no law of justice for the black man of America, who is the property of the fathers of America, white citizens. America never think in terms of being equally punished for the wrong done to a so-called Negro. The Bible parable of Balaam riding a donkey must be remembered. When angels went to settle the unjust mistreatment of the donkey by Balaam, the angel found Balaam still beaten and forcing a donkey to carry him right in the presence of the visiting angels, who was carrying a sword to bring about the justice between the two. It's almost impossible to say that America can exist. If America is to exist, America ruling powers, it will make prophets of the Bible and even the Holy Quran prophesize other than the truth. It is impossible to make them outliers who wrote the doom of a race that will come at a certain time, and that certain time is now known. Time can be prolonged if the Messiah that the world had been looking for to come for 2,000 years desired, for he does what he pleases. This does not mean that he will change the idea of the doom and destruction of America. But if he pleased, he could have extended her time if she had done almost a marvelous thing like submitting to the righteousness taught and delivered to a mentally dead slave, the so-called Negro. This is the only way why America can exist, by bowing in submission to the will of God, taught by his messengers. The time that we are now in is the time of the anger of God against the evildoers. It is a time that the God of righteousness rejoices to repay the evildoers and for their doing, and to reward the righteous for their righteousness. Therefore, to curb this set day of doom demand for the doing of righteousness, which by nature was not put in a right race, but they may yet be smart enough to bow, to put a stay to the execution for a few days longer, not by intermixing with a slave to enjoy it as long as they are blind, deaf, and dumb, and do not understand. This act only has near doom, while the foolish, blind, deaf, dumb, so-called does not even know that he is being blind, deaf, and dumb to his slaughter. There is no such thing that the evil rule peace, also the wicked according to the prophets, Jeremiah and Isaiah, are the ones who have destroyed the peace from amongst men. My advice to the white man is to make haste. Get in a hurry if you want to live. Bow and submit to that great truth and righteousness, the will of Allah. What will be the end of the wars? Many of you may think that if white America ends the war in Asia, it will bring peace and prosperity to the people of America. Perhaps someday there may be a lull in a war, but not now. If America and Asia can find a way to bring about a cessation of war between each other, this does not mean that peace and prosperity is assured. Not this time. Still the Cold War between America and Russia, other parts of Europe to be reckoned with. Europe will become a dreaded spot when America leaves Asia. It is true, as the prophet has predicted, that white America must come out of Asia or be thrown out. Each, America and Russia, the two most powerful war factors of the world, is seeking to maintain their rule over the nation of Earth, even to conquer outer space. This will not last long. In a travel investigation to space, Allah God is permitting them to peep into His great unequal creation of power and might, the heavens and earth. Holy Quran teaches that when God gets ready to destroy people, He opens the door of heaven to them. He gives them a peep into His great wisdom in secret. But this does not mean that He adds power to enemy to be able to war against the Creator. The reason for all of this is due to the fact that Allah God is setting up a kingdom of righteousness, freedom, justice, and equality. Black brothers do not look for high-paying jobs. Drawing a big roll of money after war, unless it's with the help of Allah God. You prepare this for yourself, which I advise you to do. The most dreadful divine judgment that have ever been witnessed by man are now coming on America. America is in a divine target because she could have better herself in the divine eyes of Allah God. Came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. But why America did not and will not better herself, as it is written, prophesied it concerning ancient Babylon and Egypt. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. You see the Bible, Jeremiah 51 verse 9, because she was not willing to do justice by her captive Jews from Jerusalem. So it was with Pharaoh when Allah, Jehovah, went after Egypt. The Bible Exodus, Pharaoh refused to give justice to Israel and made war against Allah, Jehovah, and His prophet Moses to prevent Israel from going free of Pharaoh's enslavement of them. The war, America cannot win victory. It is impossible for white America to be the victors in this universal war because of divine intervention against her. Although she have enough deadly materials manufactured to try to win, can she win against Allah, God? She boasts of her materials and being able to destroy the people of earth 30 times. If she was left free to use the materials, maybe America could win, but the divine die was set against her long before she ever became America. She can try and boast of her idea of minds to deceive her black slave, but she would deceive herself and them. America is made manifest by Almighty God and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, that she is a total deadly enemy against her once slaves. For many years I have written that white America's greatest sin is the evil done to her black slave. Allah God tends to repay her for what she hath done. To deceive the black slave right at the point of total destruction.